Today I am going to teach you how to make pesto. Pesto is a pretty simple dish that's made using a basil plant, a lot of basil leaves. It's basically basil chopped up very fine or mashed or blended, mixed with some oil, some kind of a nut. Traditionally it was pine nuts. For a variety of reasons, people don't use pine nuts very much these days. And so it's often made with walnuts, and it's often made with like a Parmesan cheese, which gives it nice salty flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and take this basil plant inside, and we will start to process it. This dish is pretty easy to make. All you really need to do is kind of chop everything together in a big pile, and then add some oil at the end. All right. Because this dish is made traditionally using a knife, you're going to need to get some supervision from your parents in order to make it, but it's not super complicated. So let's go take a look at how to make some pesto. Now we need about 2 cups of pesto leaves in order to make our pesto. Normally, I would just go out into the yard where the pesto would be growing nice and vigorously and be super strong tasting. But it is a little bit early in the season, so I used some store-bought pesto, which is fine. It may not be quite as strong as homegrown pesto would be, but it is still tasty. One of the only parts of this whole recipe that uses some heat is toasting the walnuts. These walnuts, it's about a half a cup of walnuts, get toasted for about 8 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And that just gives them a richer, nuttier flavor. It brings out the flavor of the walnuts, and it complements the basil and the Parmesan if you use it, and nutritional yeast if you are lactose intolerant. And it just brings all of the flavors together. So 9 minutes at 350 degrees. While the walnuts are roasting, I begin to chop up the basil and the garlic and mix them together. Once the walnuts are done, I add them and the cheese. Now that everything is chopped up and mixed together, I can go ahead and put it all in a bowl. Once it's all in the bowl, I will add the olive oil. Mix it all together and then let it sit for a little bit, an hour or so would be best, so that all of the flavors can blend together.
Do you smell that, Holly? Doesn't that smell great? Doesn't that smell delicious? Doesn't it smell amazing? You like it?
Once all of the flavors have blended together for an hour or so, you can use it to flavor your pasta. Of course, we have to cook the pasta. Directions are always on the side of the box, but the basic process is to get some water boiling, to add the pasta, stirring occasionally, especially right at the beginning. You want to stir it because the pasta will begin to stick right away. But stir occasionally for however long it says on the side of the box. In the case of rotini, it's 7 minutes. Okay, once you get close, you check it, and then once it's done, you can drain the water and then add the pesto. Once you add the pesto to the sauce, just mix it all together. All of that oil will carry the flavors into the nooks and crannies of the rotini. Get it mixed together nice and evenly. You want every little bit covered. And that's basically all you have to do to make a delicious pesto.